This video is brought to you by my generous backers over on Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel and get cool perks like access to the Discord, seeing the videos a week before anyone else, or exclusive Patreon only gameplays, then feel free to check out my Patreon. The link's in the description below. Yarok the Desecrated versus Captain Sisay, Edgar Markov, and Golos Tireless Pilgrim. Some lands, couple of tutors. I mean, yeah, we have to keep that. There's no reason to knock that back. I'd like some ramp in hand preferably, but we can always grab that with our tutors. A turn 1 Skull Clamp for Outlaw playing Edgar Markov. We've also got another patron in Go Batman, who is playing the Golos Tireless Pilgrim, and then a random Ektams playing Captain Sisay. Let's just throw out a tap land, seeing as how no one's really getting anything going on turn 1. And then it is a Viscerous Seer for Outlaw. So managing to get a vampire, and with a Skull Clamp in play, that's really good. As long as they can keep drawing into vampires, they should have not infinite, but a nice cycle of vampires and Skull Clamp targets here. Deciding not to clamp the vampire though, surprisingly. And that is card draw sorted out. A Howling Mine coming down from Captain Sisay. So we'll draw an additional card here. Oh, and I F6 through the turn. God. Okay. Well, F6 through the turn. That's a good start. Let's get rid of the Rune-Scarred Demon. How annoying. And a Forest then. I don't really know what we would have done on that turn. Probably gone in for Vampiric Tutor into, I don't know, a Mana Crypt or something, but yeah, still, that's really annoying that happened. A mixture of snow-covered forests and basic forests for the Golos player. So Go has obviously got field in there. Now an Arcane Signet and a Cabal Coffers for Outlaw. Then swinging in a couple of vampires at Go. Resplendent Angel, there's a good one for Captain Sisay. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain 5 or more life this turn, then you get a 4/4 Angel with Flying and Vigilance. And they choose to put a plus counter on that thing. Now then, let's try not to F6 through the turn this time. Manglehorn and a land. Yeah, I think we just have to discard a land at this point. So we'll hold up the black mana and we'll go in for something with the Vamp Shooter. And let's get rid of Wooded Foothills. Oracle of Muldiah comes down for Golos now, and they have Song of the Dryads on top, so that ought to keep people from rushing their commanders out. Another Mana Rock coming down for the Vampire player, as well as a Command Tower. They're staying at 5 cards quite consistently. And now they've got a Scroll Rack as well, which they can go for if they want to. Oh, and a Mana Vault coming down for Sisay. Luckily, they don't have any green mana held up, so Sisay couldn't come down there. But they do get Serra Ascendant, so maybe there's some kind of life gain sub-theme going on here. Now then, do we have Azusa? We do. Yes, we do have Azusa. And are we going to draw into another land is the question. We could just go Raminap and play lands out of the bin. Or we could go Sol Ring into Solemn. Yeah, let's just go for a Sol Ring to try and catch up on mana, because we're really far behind at this point. Alright, and we do get into another land. That's good. It's a blue one as well. So let's go for the Sol Ring. And then we could just set up for a better Solemn next turn, actually, and go Guardian Project. Yeah, there's not too much damage on the board, not that we can block anyway. There's a lot of damage here, but we couldn't block it, so let's just go Guardian Project here. And then we'll just have to hope that our Sol Ring stays in play. Another land on top for Go. And down comes Golos. We have to bear in mind that they've got the Song of the Dryads in hand. So hopefully someone else plays something that's more threatening so that we can get down our Yarok. And there it is, Field of the Dead. Along with a Terramorphic Expanse, they've got 1, 2, 3 and 4, probably a 5th, so they'll need a couple more lands with different names to start triggering field. They now have a Naturalize on top as well. So if anyone's got removal, okay, make that one more land. They've now got a Ghost Quarter as well. So if anyone's got a means of getting rid of field, I suggest they do it soon. We don't have anything currently, unfortunately. And there is Sorin, Lord of Innistrad, so they'll be able to throw out vampire tokens with that. Yeah, not going for the emblem, going straight in for a token. Then deciding to leave things there with 1 mana held up, maybe there's a swords or something like that, so if the Sisay player only sends 1 creature into Sorin, they might be able to save their Planeswalker. And there she is, Captain Sisay comes down, so hopefully that eats the Song of the Dryads. I would think that Golos would want to get rid of Captain Sisay as soon as possible, as would the rest of us. Now let's see where these flyers are going in. They are going to get an angel at the end of this, assuming that they get lifelink damage off. Just swinging in with 1 creature, the Serret Ascendant in at Sorin. And it looks like it's landing. It is. They will gain life from that. So they go up to 46 and get an angel at the end of the turn. Alright, we get into some more lands, so maybe Azusa is a good way to go now. We'll wait for the board wipe that is surely incoming before we go in for Nissa. So we'll catch up on lands, seeing as how we missed our turn 2. Grab ourselves the Azusa and play Azusa. That draws us a card. And then we can go like that. And that. And then we might as well get out this Golgari Signet as well. So there we go. Don't want to get out my Yarok just yet, because I want to make sure that the removal goes on to Captain Sisay. And like I said, I'm half expecting a board wipe at this point anyway. Now the Golos is swinging in at the Sisay player. They do have blockers held up, so either they've got some kind of buff for Golos, or they're about to wipe the board and they're trying to push some damage through before that happens. But they are blocking with an Angel token. And there's a Scarab God on top, by the way. Alright, and there we go, and all is dust. That will get rid of quite a few things. It won't get rid of everything, though, like Scroll Rack and Skull Clamp. Gets rid of our Guardian Project, unfortunately. And then following things up with the Naturalize that we knew they had, that goes on to the Howling Mine. And that frees up our Manglehorn to shoot something else. There's still 1 land away from having the Field of the Dead active. Now a Black Market comes down for the Edgar Markov player. And then activating the Scroll Rack, they've got 5 cards in hand, and I would expect them to start exhausting the cards in their hand now, because Howling Mine was keeping them in cards. But they haven't been all that aggressive with the Skull Clamp so far. Well, there's a Mana Crypt. So they're not short on Mana Rocks. Converting their Cabal Coffers into 2 black mana, and then going in for a Blood Artist. And that, of course, will get them a Vamp token. So at this point, I'm hoping for a land, because what I'd like to do is go in for Nissa, untap a land, keep it untapped to block, and go for Yarok as well. Because then we've got half a chance of going in for the emblem with her. More mana ramp for Sisay, and they actually need that because they're short on green, so Gilded Lotus will get them into some green mana. And that is followed up by an Essence Warden, so it definitely looks like this is some kind of life gain deck. I'm just going to crack this now to save me holding priority. Alright, an exploration for more lands. Yeah, we're still in a tricky spot here because I'd like to go for Yarok, but I know our opponent still has that Song of the Dryads in hand, and that'll definitely go on Yarok. We could just go for Nissa Vital Force anyway. What does it turn the land into? It's a 5/5, so it can block Golos effectively. Yeah, let's do that. Untap that. And then we'll go Exploration, and I want to save Manglehorn for when we've got our commander in play. The question is, are we going to get into enough lands to actually trigger the emblem? It's good in the long run, but it might be worth actually just going for Guardian Project. Well, anyway, we've done it now, so let's just see what happens. We'll pass the turn like that. And we'll see if Gogo has a land to trigger the Field of the Dead. Swinging in at Nissa. So, looks like they might have some kind of buff. We'll block there and see what they can do. Force them to use whatever trick it is that they're going for. Or they might just want to kill off the Golos to replay it to get a land out. And it looks like that is what they're doing. Going straight in for a recast on their Golos. And this time they've gone for Cascading Cataracts, which can get them into Wooburg with just 5 generic mana. Then playing a forest from hand will trigger Field of the Dead again. Followed by Song of the Dryads onto, that's funny, turning it into a forest. The enchanted permanent is a colourless forest land, so I don't think that's a snow-covered forest anymore. I don't think it's relevant anyway, but this will free up our opponents to swing in at Nissa, unfortunately. So it might just be worth minusing her down and going for Guardian Project after all. We are now free to get down our Yarok, because the Song of the Dryads has come down. Malakir Blood Witch now, and that is 3 vampires controlled, pro-white, flying 4/4. And I think you drain an opponent per vampire you control. Oh, it's each opponent you go for with that. Not a target opponent, alright. And they've gone for Legion Lieutenant as well. And it is +1/+1 on their vampires, so that is 2 onto the Nissa. And then 1 going in at the Essence Warden player. So that is -3. Even if Essence Warden comes in at us now, we can still minus Nissa down. So, yeah. I think we just have to minus her down and get the Guardian Project. Probably should have done that in the first place. My first game since coming back from holiday, and I'm clearly a little bit rusty still. 2 cards in hand. They don't have their sack outlet anymore, so the Skull Clamp doesn't kill off these tokens anymore. The Viscera Seer went down to the All Is Dust. Captain Sisay comes straight back down again, and we'll see if the Essence Warden goes in at our Nissa. It does not, so our Nissa is going to survive when we minus down here. Which probably isn't relevant. Oh, a Necromancy. We could go for Runescarred Demon with that. And get 2 tutors. We also reanimate 2 things. This is from any graveyard, is it? It is any graveyard. So let's have a look. There's Oracle. Viscera Seer. Oh, there's the Serra Ascendant. We will have the life for that. Yeah, we've got some stuff to do here. Let's go for the minus first of all. Grab ourselves a Guardian Project. Then I'm just going to concentrate on drawing some cards for now. We'll have to keep our fingers crossed for keeping our Yarok in play until next turn. Alright, and a Pyroblast goes onto Yarok, so it looks like everyone's got their eyes locked on us. Yarok is worth worrying about, but I think every commander at the table is worth worrying about in this game, so it's going to be a tricky one for us all to work out. It's noteworthy as well that we are the only blue player at the table, so Pyroblast is likely only ever going to be cast on us. Golos could play an obnoxious blue card of some type. Looks like they're going to activate their Golos here. No blue spells there. They've got Erebos, God of the Dead. I don't know if they've played a land yet, but they've got an Evolving Wilds, and there's a 3 visits to trigger the field. And then this is likely, going to finish off Nissa. So just going in with a single zombie. They ghost quartered themselves to get into, I think it was the snow-covered island they grabbed, and then played the Evolving Wilds from the Exile Zone, so they haven't played a land yet. So lots more zombies to be had. Then it is Forsake the Worldly, getting rid of Outlaw's Skull Clamp. Volrath's Stronghold was triggered there and put the Viscera Seer back on top of the library. And out comes the Viscera Seer. So it's a good job the Skull Clamp's been eradicated now, because they could have gone for Skull Clamp onto a creature, then gotten a Scrying, drawn 2 cards. Good way of switching your clamp back on after you've got an Anthem effect down. Then going for a sacrifice to grab themselves a scry and put a counter on the black market. That'll also trigger Blood Artist. Now the more life we lose to Blood Artist here, the more likely it is that we're going to have the Serra Ascendant switched off, assuming we go for that. But Blood Artist hasn't been pointed at us yet. We'll see where these attacks go in though. Alright, all of this going in at Golos. Nice to see Golos getting some attention here, so I dare say, yeah, zombie blocking a vampire there. And then Golos and a zombie blocking that vampire. Oh. Okay, couple of double blocks. And yeah, and then the 5 flying damage is going through. So a couple of zombies going to get traded out here. Few creatures die there, so more Blood Artist and Black Market triggers. They're going to have 5 mana at the beginning of the upkeep, I think it is. No, beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you get the black mana from that. Obviously that's something to worry about next turn at this point. Erebos coming down does switch off life gain, and we're thinking that Captain Sisay is a life gain deck, so they might be really worried about Golos as well. This might be good for us and buy us some time, because if everyone's looking over here, then they're obviously not looking at us. Sisay going in for a tutor immediately, and they go for Avacyn, Angel of Hope, which is 8 mana I think. Yeah, 8 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can afford that. So down comes Avacyn. Not gaining a life from the Essence Warden though, thanks to Erebos. And probably just going for that to protect their Sisay. Alright, more landfall for us, don't really care about that. Let's just try our commander again first of all. And we actually can't afford the Necromancy as well now, thanks to that command attack, so we'll draw some cards at least. We might get into a land actually, so that we can afford the Necromancy. We do, thankfully. So let's go for... yeah, well, we'll play the land now anyway, and we'll go for the Necromancy now, I think. Then we go Necromancy, and this should get us a couple of things. So let's first go for Rune-Scarred Demon, which will get us a couple of tutors. And then we've got Oracle of Muldiah, nothing for the vampire player. And then we've got Resplendent Angel or Serra Ascendant. I think it's Serra Ascendant because that is switched on. No haste, unfortunately. But it is a big blocker. And if someone gets Erebos out of the way, then we do start gaining life from that as well. Get into Lightning Greaves for some haste. We don't have the mana for that, unfortunately. We'd be in a much better position if our Yarok hadn't been countered. Couple of tutors, couple of draws as well. We don't have an unlimited hand size, so we are going to have to discard. Probably just get rid of 3 visits and Nature's Law. Got a Decree of Pain there as well, which will get rid of Sisay if we need it to. So I think we go Agent of Treachery, and Hostage Taker is Exile as well, I think. Yeah, because we want rid of the Avacyn, so let's go Hostage Taker. And then we'll probably go Agent of Treachery as well. Yeah, let's go Agent of Treachery on that. And then we'll have to pass the turn and see if everyone's eyes have switched back round to us again. Have to get rid of 3 things here, so let's make it 3 visits, Nature's Law, and do we care about Manglehorn? Do we care about Solemn? Yeah, let's get rid of Solemn as much as I don't want to. I mean, what we could have done there is gone in for Royal Elemental next turn and then played Solemn Simulacrum and started stealing a bunch of stuff, because Solemn would have brought down a couple of lands, but I don't really like getting rid of Manglehorn because someone might play a really good artifact. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Down comes that Scarab God, which is going to get them... that's Drain and Scry, I think. Each opponent loses X life, and you Scry X, so not quite Drain. Then Necromancy goes down, don't really care about that, we've gotten the tutors. Would like to keep the blocker in play, though. Alright, gets rid of both of our blockers. I was under the impression that the Necromancy was only enchanting one of them, and therefore it lets us keep one of them, but apparently not. Scarab Guard is now reanimating the Rune Scarred Demon. That will come down as a 4/4 version. And it is a zombie as well, so it counts towards... I think it's a zombie. Yeah, a zombie, so it does count towards the trigger at the beginning of the turn. 7 mana at the beginning of Outlaw's turn from the black market, and 2 cards in hand. So what can they do with that? They may just go in for their commander here. That's exactly what they do. Then activating the Scroll Rack. Outlaw continuing to go in at Golos. I think that's a good idea to get rid of Golos. I think it's a tricky spot. I think it's between myself and Golos are the main targets. Yeah, they're coming in at us with Edgar Markov. And then it's a 6/6 flyer going in at Golos. So we'll just take 6 points of commander. And they are blocking with their 4/4 Rune Scarred Demon. Sisay going in for another tutor here. My plan currently, I'd like to steal the Avacyn, and I'd like to get rid of Scarab Guard and Golos as well. So if we get into another land next turn, it might be worth Royal Elemental into a couple of lands. That does rely on us drawing though. We might draw off playing the Royal Elemental, assuming Guardian Project stays in play. They've gone for Gaia's Cradle, by the way, there. That is a legendary permanent. It's not just creatures that Sisay can go for. Oh, then a Bane of Progress. So, Guardian Project is not going to stay in play then. And Teferi's Protection comes down, so that will keep their enchantments and artifacts in play. So, pretty much just getting rid of, yeah, just our stuff and the Golos. So much for stealing away the Golos. Don't know if I would have bothered going for Bane of Progress there, to be honest, because all you're really getting rid of is Scroll Rack with an empty hand, Black Market with an empty hand, allowing them to replay Golos. I mean, it gets rid of our stuff, and if they're worried about us, then it's a good play, but I think I might have waited on that, personally. Anyway, as the board stands now, we're probably going Royal Elemental and stealing away the Scarab Guard and the Avacyn. And then we'll try and go in for Decree of Pain next turn. And then following things up with Primeval Bounty. That's a really good one. Really like Primeval Bounty. Okay, what else for more landfall? We're not going to be able to go for that, I don't think. First thing we do is go Royal Elemental. And we're not going to draw cards here, unfortunately. Then we go Flooded Strand, and we'll steal a couple of things, get rid of Avacyn, and we'll bring the Scarab God over here as well. And then I'm definitely going to get down the Lightning Greaves as well, because that will protect our Royal Elemental. And then hopefully we'll be able to actually keep this stuff that we're stealing away. Tropical Island comes down, we'll steal some more stuff, get rid of the Commander. And we'll take that Essence Warden as well, because I'm hoping to get rid of that Erebos at some point, and then we'll actually be able to gain some life. It's indestructible anyway, so don't care about the low toughness on that. Greaves goes on to the Flyer. Actually, probably could have put it onto Avacyn and dealt 8 to the Golos player. Oh well, doesn't matter. Let's fly over at... yeah. We'll show our opponents that we're after the Golos player going down. Yeah, definitely should have swung in with Avacyn there. Alright, a Praetor's Council. I was just going to say that I'm thankful that the... where is it? That the All is Dust... oh, obviously it's in their hand. That the All is Dust has been used, but unfortunately Praetor's Council gets them back into All is Dust. And there is Glacial Chasm as well. So the Golos player getting more and more difficult to deal with. Nature's Law and a 3 visits being cast there, and we are gaining no life from this Essence Warden, unfortunately. Following things up with a Cultivate as well. Now, maybe there's some kind of deal to be struck here. Maybe Outlaw can take out Golos, because there's an All is Dust coming, and there's a Glacial Chasm in play. This stops all damage that would be dealt to you. This isn't damage, is it? Yeah, it's loss of life. So we might be able to go Decree of Pain and get rid of some stuff. They've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 there alone. 11, 12. Oh, this doesn't die, so 11. 12, that will die. Yeah, might be able to pile on a bunch of damage with the Blood Artist. Then the Varath Stronghold had gone on to the Malakir Blood Witch, so that has been cast again. Oh, they're gonna do some damage there anyway, so they might be able to... Yeah, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 vampires. That's 6 damage to all of us. Is it damage? It is loses life, so again, getting around the Glacial Chasm. But the Malakir Blood Witch, coupled with the Decree of Pain, may well get Gogo out of the game. We'll see what Outlaw is doing here. They've got no cards in hand, actually, so it's not likely they're going to do much of anything. Yeah, probably should have kept my mouth shut on that deal, actually, because they might have swung in over here and killed off some more zombies. Yeah, he saved his targets to Gogo anyway. Gogo reminding us that he has all his dust in hand. Probably shouldn't remind us of that. Then sending in Edgar Markov over there as well. And then sacrificing the Edgar Markov for a Scry with Viscera Seer. Oh, and can they afford to recast him again? Yeah, I think they're one short. They've got 2, 4, 5, 6 and 7, I think. They've only got a couple of swamps, so that Cabal Coffers won't do it for them. Down comes a Bruna for Sisay. When you cast this spell, you may return a target angel or human from your graveyard to the battlefield. It has flying and vigilance. I don't know if they have... Oh, they've got a human there, so Serra Ascendant will be a 6/6 flyer. And they'll get a beast token from the Primeval Bounty for casting that as well. And Sisay decided to leave it there. At the beginning of the turn, we could go for... Oh, Resplendent Angel would be a good idea. How much is this, though? That's 4. We could grab something of our own back, maybe. Get some Scry going and some life loss. I think, instead of going for Decree of Pain like I was going to, that will actually take us out on some permanents. I think I'd actually rather go for Agent of Treachery this turn, grab that and swing in over there. That is 7. We've got 2, 4, 6. Yeah, we can afford it. So in that case, we'll just forego the Scarab God for now. We're actually going to lose that when we take out Golos. Alright, and we get another land, which will allow us to take control of something else as well. So we can actually go Wood Elves into a land and Agent of Treachery. Yeah, so let's try that and hope that no one interferes with anything. We'll grab a forest with the first one and we'll take control of the Serra Ascendant, and then we'll take control of the Blood Artist as well, now that we don't need the help of Blood Artist. Yeah, they decide to sacrifice that, that's fine. Just getting rid of that now in case we want a Decree of Pain and we'll have all that damage pointed at us. I thought if we went for Decree of Pain, they might not have gotten rid of Golos, and they might have instead gotten rid of us because our board state is now the most threatening. So I've changed my mind on trying to get Outlaw to help us get rid of Golos. We'll try and take the sack outlet off of Outlaw as well. And let's grab that Bruna also. Then we play a land and take control of some more stuff. We'll take the Malakir Blood Witch and the Lord. Then we go Agent of Treachery. And then at the end step, we'll actually draw some cards from Agent of Treachery as well, because we've stolen a bunch of stuff with the Royal Elemental. So we'll take the Gaia's Cradle. And we'll take the Glacial Chasm. And then we can swing in with the flyers and take out Golos. Oh, but we can't attack when we get rid of the Glacial Chasm. Oh my god, I forgot all about that clause on Glacial Chasm. Oh, wow. That's a huge miss. Okay. Should have relied on Outlaw, helping us to get rid of Golos then. Oh, leave your dislikes now. That's a massive oversight on my part. Okay, so we're leaving a player in the game when there was absolutely no need to. Yeah, we don't have the Blood Artist. We do have Viscera Seer for Scries at least. Oh, that feels bad. Alright, let's just tap down the Captain Sisay and see if we can grab anything at all that'll help us. It'll have to be mono green at this point. There's Titania, there's the Great Henge. Tatyova is probably worth going for. Yeah, so I would have played that differently. I would have gone for the Viscera Seer and then taken the Blood Artist, and then they couldn't sacrifice it. Anyway. Venser is probably an intelligent idea. Great Henge is card draw though. Yeah, let's just go Great Henge because it's card draw. Oh, but we won't play Great Henge because it's about to get wrapped up in a Wrath. Apologies for that. Said it a few times this game, but pretty rusty after not playing for a while. We just get a bunch of mana off the top, off of the Agent of Treachery. Yeah, I hate when I make mistakes like that. But completely forgot about the Glacial Chasm. At least we can't be dealt any damage, and Golos can. But we've gotten all his dust incoming. And there it is, going straight in for it. So we might as well go Viscera Seer at this point. At least it finally gets rid of the Erebos, and we might be able to start gaining some life. Cloud of Fairies to the bottom. Oh, now a Rift is pretty tough to pass up. Do we care about Rift, though? I don't think so, because we don't have any kind of Alpha Strike, so we put that on the bottom as well. Now we get into our own Field of the Dead. Is that likely to help us? I mean, it can help us flood the board. I don't really know what else I can go in for at this point, to be honest. I mean, we can get a bunch of card draw with Decree of Pain after a few turns. Let's keep Field on top. Then it is Perforos, God of the Dead, coming down for Golos. And they've got 11 cards in hand. I assume they've got at least one land. They can get down Golos again, I think. How much will that cost? That'll be 9, actually, won't it? Now, luckily for us, Perforos' damage, with it being red. Whenever another creature enters, 2 damage to each opponent, yeah. And Glacial Chasm, as we've already been over, is prevent damage that will be dealt to you. Unfortunately, I forgot about the creatures you control can't attack clause. Path to Exile is on top, that is worth knowing about. They can't cast it. And we do have a Strip Mine for that Field of the Dead as well. Now it's a Kodama's Reach on top because they shuffled. So no need to worry about Path just yet. And the Scarab God went back into their hand as well. That's not the one that goes third from the top, is it? I think that goes back into their hand from the graveyard. Yeah, I think that's how that works. Oh, and a Necropotence from Edgar Markov. So refilling the hand here. Going for the full grip of 7 by the looks of it, and they did go for Volrath's Stronghold to put the Blood Artist back on top. I don't know if they exiled it afterwards, though. Yeah, they did put the Blood Artist on top, and then they activated the ability, so they're going to have Blood Artist in hand. So we'll get rid of Golos yet. Oh, that's a scary one. A Chroma's Memorial comes down, that's got Manglehorn written all over it. So we'll have to see what we want to go for next turn. I think we have to go in for our Yarok again. And then return to nature on the Lightning Greaves. We'll pay the 2 life into the Chasm this time. Then we obviously draw into Field of the Dead. Let's go for our Commander. Or do we just want to go Hostage Taker into casting the Oracle? I think that might be a better idea. Yeah, let's go Hostage Taker. We can't afford to do that and get down our Yarok, unfortunately. And this way we can play Field of the Dead and Strip Mine in one turn. Alright, we've got Mana Crypt on top. Don't really want that. So we go Field of the Dead first. Then we'll play the Strip Mine and blow up their Field of the Dead. They may well be able to fish it out because it looks as though this is a Field of the Dead deck. And they've already showed us Praetor's Council. We'll just go in for the Manglehorn. And we'll play out a Simic Signet as well. I just want to get rid of that Chroma's Memorial. And there's the Golos. So let's see if they can fish out that field again. We just put Raminap on the bottom, so we're not likely to get into that again unless we can shuffle. And Golos comes down tapped, thanks to the Manglehorn, by the way. Artifacts your opponent's control, enter tapped. And it is a Vesuva, that won't do it. Oh, it's any land on the battlefield, not any land on your side of the field. Alright, so they copy our Field of the Dead, and there we go, straight back into the same scenario they were in previously. They can activate their Golos here as well. Then they get that Ghost Quarter down again. They could blow up our field with that. Or the Glacial Chasm. Yep, they go for the Glacial Chasm. I probably would have put life into that one more time, just to buy us a little bit more time. Let's go for an island, I think. And they went for Kodama's Reach as well, so they're continuing to knock these life totals down. They're actually hitting us now as well, thanks to getting rid of that Glacial Chasm. Then that is on to the Necropotents. Not swinging in with any zombies, and oh, there's a Mana Crypt to worry about as well for Outlaw. Edgar Markov coming straight down. I was expecting to see some small vampires to hit play there. Ah, there we go. Vampire of the Dire Moon, Lifelink and Death Touch. Then Indulgent Aristocrat as well for more buffs. More life gain there as well. Now how do the counters go on? It is whenever it attacks, put a plus counter on each vampire you control, so they'll probably swing in over here with Edgar Markov to buff up their lifelinkers. Now an Animate Dead, and that will probably go on to the Malakir Blood Witch, which is going to be 6 to all of us. Oh, and we did shuffle, by the way, so we've got a Baleful Strix on top now, and not a Mana Crypt, which is way more useful than said Mana Crypt. Austere Command, don't know about that. Yeah, Austere Command's fine, but it's Perforos that we really want rid of. Field of the Dead and Perforos only gives us a few turns. If Golos comes down, that's 1 land. Maybe they've got another land to play. That's 4 damage on its own. But that's nowhere near as many cards being drawn with Decree of Pain. Maybe we just have to rely on the life gain from the Great Henge in this case. Alright, well there's a land on top. Tatyova would be good to gain us some more life. This is 5, I think. 5 generic mana, so it's 7 in total. I think we'd have enough for our commander at that point. Yeah, let's go Great Henge. Then we will play a land off the top. And we'll play a land from hand as well and shuffle. Now we'll shuffle this one away first, because we might be able to get another land off the top. Really, really wishing I'd not made that massive mistake and got rid of Golos. Then we'll play a swamp. I'm just trying to get as many tokens into play as possible before we tap down the Gaia's Cradle. There's probably a more efficient way to do it, but I don't want to leave my opponents waiting. So down comes our commander. We're missing the Lightning Greaves now because they got destroyed or exiled. They're in the bin, so they got destroyed. And we will draw a couple of cards as well. So we get into the Muldrifter. There's Conjurer's Closet as well. Conjurer's Closet and Muldrifter's good. Let's just go Baleful Strix here though, and we can save that. Baleful Strix will draw us a couple of cards, as will the Great Henge. And there's Venser. So, can we do anything with Venser? We don't have enough blue mana held up, but they could just recast the Perforos anyway. If they can get 4 creatures into play, then that's us done. So let's just drop down the Lotus Cobra at this point, and then we can leave it there and pretend that we've got counter magic. Knocking Golos down to 1. Now, the moment of truth. Can Golos get 4 creatures into play? They can get 2 from Golos himself. And then if they've got something like an Evolving Wilds or something like that, then they've done it. We will get rid of Nissa. So there we go. They go into Golos. Maybe they can make another copy of Field. And that should be able to get us out of the game. But we'll see what happens here. They've still got the Vampire player and Captain Sisay to deal with, of course. But us having our life gain switched off from the Erebos earlier on, that really hurt us. But the main thing that hurt us, of course, is my forgetting about that clause on Glacial Chasm. Still kicking myself over that. Looks like that's actually going to cost us the game. Alright, they did not go for a copy of Field, so... And Field didn't trigger there. Why didn't the Field trigger? They didn't get a zombie. Well, we're down to 6 anyway. They go for an Exile. They've got Explore. Hour of Promise gets a couple of lands out. Sun Titan will get a land out. So yeah, they should be able to get rid of us here. Surely they've got some lands. Yeah, they've got the Ghost Quarter, the Glacial Chasm, Terramorphic Expanse. So... definitely should be able to get us out of the game here. Alright, deciding not to do it though. Am I missing something? Surely I'm missing something here. They didn't go for the Sun Titan, the Hour of Promise, or the Explore. Oh, they actually didn't search for a land with Golos. They haven't run out of lands. They've got nowhere near the 40 lands that they've probably got. How strange. I don't know what's happening here. Well, there's the Blood Artist anyway, so... we'll see if they want to get rid of us before Golos. And Viscera Seer is still in the bin. Yes, it is. Then it is a Diabolic Intent, getting rid of what I assume was a token, I think. Yeah, it must have been a token from the Blood Artist, so they get a tutor. Oh, then a Bolas' Citadel. They are back at 29 life, so they should be able to do some stuff here. Haha, Dockside Extortionist. Not as good after an Austere Command. And a Bane of Progress. Both of these creatures swinging in at Sisay. So deciding not to take out Golos. I don't know if we can rely on the Blood Artist to take Golos out now. Because we consistently build up our board quite easily. Alright, and that either takes out Captain Sisay or they decide to scoop. I don't know which one happened there. I think they were at 11. And that's 11 damage, so... either way, they are kicked out of the game. Now our opponent goes in for Lightning Greaves. They've got 1 card in hand, but they can play off the top with the Bolas' Citadel, as long as they've got the life to do that. Now a Mavrin Fiend. Now the question is, do we want to go for Decree of Pain or not? A Sensei's Top is the card that was in their hand. And they do have the mana to pay for that, assuming they want to crack this. Sanctum Seeker, that is each opponent loses life. So yeah, I think we definitely need to wipe the board here. Demonic Tutor as well, so just chain in a bunch of stuff off the top. I think we've been given a second chance at this point. Don't know what happened with the Golos player there. Prismatic Vista getting cracked after Aetherflux Reservoir comes down. They shuffled the top just to see, yeah. The problem we've got now is that this is a little bit of a combo. If they can cast enough spells, then they can gain enough life and just shoot us for 50 damage with the Aetherflux Reservoir. And they've just put something on top there, so that's at least one thing. We need to see a couple of lands on top. Yeah, we need to see some lands on top so that they can't go for those. I don't know if they've played a land already this turn. They might be able to get one off the top with the Citadel. Just have to see. Razaketh, the Foul-Blooded. Well, they've got sack fodder with that, so they should be able to tutor something up. Surely they've got the game here. Looks like they're going for the kill on someone. Sack 10 non-land permanents, each opponent loses 10 life. Oh, it's each opponent. I thought that was just one opponent. Alright, well, that is both of us out of the game then. So, a big congratulations to Outlaw. Yeah, I think if we had another turn there, then we could have gotten rid of the Bolas' Citadel or the Aetherflux Reservoir with the Acidic Slime, or in fact both of them, if our commander stays in play. And then gone wide on Golos, maybe even wipe the board with Decree of Pain as well, or just bounce a bunch of stuff with Venser. But yeah, due to my huge blunder against Go Batman, I did not deserve to win this one. But did get to show you all how good this Yarok the Desecrated deck can be. We managed to refill our hand a few times there. Got to... I don't know if we did wipe the board a few times, but we had opportunity to. We've got spot removal, card draw, means of removing our opponent's cards in means of taking control of it. Yeah, so a really fun matchup, and I dare say we could have won that one had I not have made that massive error, but hey, there we go. Hopefully you all enjoy it anyway. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.